Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is my webinar today. It's on sleep, basically sleep, because there are many reasons which I will be discussing in the webinar going forward. Little introduction about me. I am Dr. Saurabh Jaiswal. I am a neuropsychiatrist, and I have been working with Kand Brain Center, Lucknow, since last 3 years as a consultant. So coming to the topic, how this idea popped up about the sleep. This is basically my mentors, Sugita ma'am and Sushant sir. They have asked me repeatedly about having social presence, having showing everything, showing your works on the social media, and as a result of many more than 3 one-to-one calls, this resulted in this webinar on sleep. So this is basically so the topic, why sleep? Why have I chosen the sleep? Because I think it is one of the most basic topic which should be discussed, and it is something which everyone has. Sleep is something which everyone undergoes on a daily basis. Uh, Taking in that sense, around an individual requires about 7 to 8 hours of regular sleep uh, in a day. So talking in that sense, human needs 1/3 of his whole lifetime for sleeping. So it's that important. And coming to the sleep, why I have chosen this topic is because many times I have discussed with my psychiatric colleagues one simple question: how many patients have you seen who are suffering from any kind of psychiatric diagnosis or disorder and who do not have any kind of sleep problems? And none, absolutely none of them has said that a person who is suffering from any kind of psychological disorders is not suffering. There may be problems with the initiation, there may be problems with the maintenance, there may be problem with the early morning awakening, but the sleep is, or the quality of sleep may be disturbed, but the sleep is very often disturbed with psychological processes. So coming to that topic, which is one of the very basic topic from the psychological point of view, I have chosen this topic for discussion. So coming to the introduction, sleep is such a topic which does not require any kind of introduction. It is said in Irish, it is an Irish proverb that a good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in a doctor's book. So an apple a day keeps the doctors away, and the sleep and good laugh also keeps the doctors away. So coming to the introduction, they are basically, this is going to be very short. This is not going to be a theoretical kind of thing, all the theory and all these things. This is going to be a very short introduction. Sleep is regulated by two systems. Basically, circadian rhythm, which is a rhythm which deals with many bodily functions, and it is regulated by many hormonal balances in the body. And one of them is sleep. Other than that, it can be level of testosterone, level of thyroid hormone, or other level of steroid hormone. They are balanced by this circadian rhythm. And the second mechanism of sleep, how do we sleep? The second mechanism is the sleep-wake homeostasis. Homeostasis means a mechanism of the body in which the body tries to maintain a particular level. It tries to maintain a balance. And uh, the thing is, when we have adequate amount of sleep, the body goes into a state of wakefulness. And when we have an adequate amount of wakefulness, the body goes into a state of sleep. So the body maintains a balance between the two. Now coming to the historical part. what is how did the sleep got evolved? Now, Aristotle, who was a great thinker of his time, he made a concept of sleep and he wrote in his book on sleep and sleepiness. And he had a view which is very commonly seen in Indian society. People come in the rural background and say they have some stomach problem and there is lot of acidity, there is lot of gas, and that gas has risen up and it has gone into their brains and it is causing headache and all. So that concept has been started long back. And Aristotle said that the food particles, when they go into the stomach, they produce gases, and the gases go into the mind, the brain, and the person sleeps. Another school of thought in the 18th and 19th century said that the blood supply of the brain gets diminished, and as a result, the brain goes into sleep. But nowadays, coming to the latest thinking, what we have come to know in 1920s, Hans Berger developed EEG machine. What is an EEG machine? It is an electroencephalogram, which measures small potentials of the electrical activity which happens in the brain. And the machine, the EEG machine, it measures the superficial electrical polarization and depolarization, and as a result a graph is made, and through that graph we have come to various stages of sleep. There are various waves, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and by the help of those waves we have come to these stages of sleep. So there are two kind of sleep. First is desynchronized, or we call it as REM, rapid eye movement sleep, and second is synchronized sleep, we call it NREM. So starting from the beginning, when an individual goes into sleep, this is the state of can you see my screen? Okay. Yes, this is the stage of wakefulness, and when the person goes to sleep, this is the x-axis, and the time is moving on the x-axis. When the patient goes to sleep, the first stage is REM, rapid eye movement. It can be noticed that when the individual is sleeping, his eyeballs are moving as if he's seeing something in the real world. It seems as if he's seeing something. So the eye movement are very rapid, and this is known as REM. Then comes the 4 stages of NREM. These 4 stages are the stages in which the brain goes into delta activity, or slowness of the brain polarization and depolarization. It has been divided into 4 stages. The 4th stage is deep sleep, and the person stays for a very less time in deep sleep. And there are many cycles. There may be 4, 5, 3. These cycles are present throughout the duration of sleep of 7 to 8 hours. And the patient at the last comes to a stage of wakefulness. So this is the basic introduction of sleep. Now coming to the importance of quality of sleep. So why quality of sleep is important? Now quality of sleep, first we should understand what is the function of sleep per se, apart from the restorative function. Restorative means the restoring all the things which have happened in the body, like from morning to evening we are working, so our body gathers a lot of lactic acids and other toxins, and the body needs time for its restoration. Also, the mind needs time for restoration, because throughout the day we go through a lot of stresses, and we need a break from all these things. So there should be a gap, and God has provided as a gap in the form of sleep. So the several theories have been proposed. First is the restorative therapy, cognitive theory of sleep, which I have just discussed. Energy conservation theory means that body being a machine cannot be in a state of continuous movement and continuous functioning. So it needs energy conservation. And adaptive theory of sleep. Adaptive theory of sleep means from time immemorial, the body and the mind and everything has evolved. And after the sun sets down, we are programmed in such a way that we cannot do much work in after the sun goes down in darkness. We cannot do much work. So the body needs to be at some particular place. It needs not to be roaming around so that it may be dangerous to go in the wild and all. So the adaptive theory says that the body has designed itself, the nature has designed the body so that it naturally goes into the sleep, and melatonin level rises as the sun goes down. Now coming to the basic functions, we all know this is just a revision. So what are the functions of sleep? It helps to maintain weight. It helps to maintain concentration. It helps to maintain the glucose metabolism in the body, and it helps to maintain the glucose metabolism in the brain. So the concentration part and the weight part is controlled. Can be disrupted if the sleep is disrupted. It maximizes athletic performance. The heart and the sleep is linked to depression. Now, this is my topic per se, because sleep is related to circadian rhythm, and depression is something which is due to, it is a multifactorial diagnosis. It can be due to several reasons and a combination of both, in a combination of many things. It can be combination of lack of serotonin. It can be combination of lack of norepinephrine or other neurotransmitters in the brain, and it can be due to external factors like something bad happens outside of the body, such as in the examination, or someone gets hurt in the family, or any setbacks come into the life. These are exogenous sources of depression. And what are the endogenous sources of depression? Are those sources which are not outside, they are inside, and they lead to depression. Sleep supports and maintains a healthy immune system. It increases the inflammation. It links to increased inflammation. Affects emotional and social interaction. So it is said that when the sleep is proper, the mind is healthy, and when the mind is healthy, the body is healthy, and we can interact properly in the society. Now coming to the topic of how can we know about our own sleep? How can we assess our own sleep? How can we get to our own sleep profile? These are all the, up till now, these are all the basic concepts about sleep. What is sleep? What is the function of sleep? And these are all. But now coming to something, how can are we going to assess? Now I'm going to just discuss this one photo diagram, and other the materials are from the diagram itself. Now sleep detection methods have been basically divided into two parts. First is medical assistance, and second is self-assessment. So medical assessment is polysomnogram. First is the polysomnogram, which is considered as the gold standard in sleep measurement of quality, measurement of duration, and any other sleep disorder which may arise from the disturbances of pattern, disturbances of the 4 stages, disturbances in the timing and the duration of the sleep. The polysomnogram can measure anything related to sleep, but it is so cumbersome because there are many probes and many sensors which are attached to the body. More than 10 to 12 sensors are attached to the body, from head, from EEG, EMG, electromyogram, for muscles, for heart, ECG is attached, and for respiratory rate is taken, pulse rate is taken. It is a very cumbersome thing, and it is not very practical. It is done for sleep disorders per se. Now, the multiple sleep latency test, maintenance of these are all the medical tests. Coming to the self-assessment part, self-assessment has been divided into 3 parts basically: questionnaires, sleep diaries, and hardware devices. So what are questionnaires? The most common questionnaire is Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, which is 4 plus 10 questionnaire set, and it helps to know for the clinician that a patient is suffering from any kind of basic sleep disorders or not. So there are random questions like by what time you go to sleep, by what time you get up from the sleep, your usual times, how is your quality of sleep as per your definition, and do you feel refreshed after getting up? Like this, there are many questions. In sleep diaries, the patient or the individual is given a diary, and he or she is asked to maintain daily how or what kind of quality his or her sleep has have been. So after getting up in the morning, the patient just after getting up in the morning, he writes in the diary. He slept at around 11 p.m. in the night. He got up at 4 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. in the morning. His sleep was good and this and that. He had dreams or not. So sleep diaries are comparatively better than the questionnaires because these are maintained on a daily basis and these are more subjective than the questionnaires, because questionnaires, if the clinician asks, the patient has to say according to his memory, according to his remembrance, like since last 1 month or since last 7 days, how his sleep has been. So it's basically not so accurate as sleep diaries. Coming to the hardware devices can be contact devices or contactless devices. And nowadays we can see many gadgets and many wristbands, and many companies are giving sleep profile assessment. So these are wristband, ankle bands, and sonar devices which are in contact. The sonar devices are contactless. In contactless devices, these are microphone, video camera, which are kept in the person's room, and his or her sleep can be monitored. Now coming to the spoon test, this is a basic test which is very interesting also. Sorry. In this, as you can see, it is used to measure the daytime sleepiness of a person, how sleepy he or she is in the daytime. The procedure is if the patient has to lie with his hand hanging from the bedside, and he has to hold a spoon in his hand and keep a plate at the bottom of the bed or maybe at the floor. Sorry. And as the patient goes into sleep, his the spoon which he or she is holding in his hand falls on the metal plate or anything metallic and makes a noise. This noise makes the patient to get up, and because of the noise, the patient gets up, and he or she has to notice how much time did it take to for him to go to sleep. Now coming to the conclusion part, going to sleep before too early is also not good. The adequate time is 20 minutes. 20 minutes is the adequate time by which a person should be going to sleep. If a person goes to sleep within 5 minutes, it means they are severely sleep deprived. Now coming to the reasons of poor sleep. Now reasons of poor sleep. Basically, I wanted this webinar to be not to be of basic focus on psychology, but if we are going to discuss about the reasons of poor sleep, it's always and always, not always, so it's more than 50% times it is related to any kind of psychological disorders. We have, according to the research surveys, it is approximately 50%. But in our practical experiences, we have seen that many kind of psychological disorders lead to sleep problems.
Excuse me?
Depression can be any kind of anxiety disorders, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, PTSD.
Hello?
Now coming to the international classification of
Jaiswal, someone is asking some question. Can you do now or in the end of the session we'll do?
we can do in the end of the session. Okay, can you please repeat the question?
Ms. Ramya, you can ask. Okay, you can continue.
What is categorized as a poor sleep? What is categorized as a poor sleep? So basically, like for example, yeah, what is categorized as a poor sleep? Because someone like Sadhguru says he sleeps for only 2 to 4 hours on an average.
Can
But
you please write your question in the chat box, and I will be discussing between the sessions only, because I cannot hear your voice. Now coming to the international classification of sleep disorders. Now this is insomnia, sleep-related breathing disorders, central disorders of hypersomnolence, and parasomnia. This is the classification which is internationally followed, and then comes the circadian rhythm sleep-wake disorders, sleep-wake movement disorders. Now, we have seen many times there are movement disorders, such as when we are going to sleep, we see there is a pain or an irresistible urge to move our legs. When it sometimes may happen due to fatigue, it sometimes may happen due to chronic smokers, But if it is continuous, it can be restless leg syndrome or periodic limb movement disorder. And we have also seen many times bruxism. It means the grinding of teeth at night in sleep. Substance use disorders can also lead to sleep, because almost all the substance, including alcohol also elevates the mood and elevates feeling of happiness. It brings feeling of happiness for a time being, but ultimately it is a CNS depressant, meaning it will ultimately depress the CNS, and the patient will invariably go into sleep. But the sleep due to after consuming alcohol, is the duration of sleep is always less than the normal. Now coming to what is sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is something which should be followed like everyday thing, like we wash our body, we brush our teeth. These are all the hygiene for our body and teeth and our bodily things. Coming to Ramya's question, what is categorized as poor sleep? Someone like Sadhguru says 4 hours sleep is good enough. Does it depend on duration? Is snoring measure of fatigue while sleeping, and how do we overcome it? So I will be very short. For categorizing poor sleep, it might be lesser duration or poorer quality of sleep. That can be known by the questionnaires, if the patient is having poor quality or lesser duration, what he or she or her body needs. 4 hours of sleep is good enough. Again, there are short sleepers and long sleepers according to the EEG studies. I have not discussed it because the slides were very lengthy. So there are 2 kinds of sleepers. There are 3 kinds of the normal sleepers. The science says 7 to 8 hours of sleep, 7 to 9 hours sleep is sufficient for a healthy adult. Adult means around 20 to 50. And before 20, the sleep duration may be higher in infants. It is seen that 17 hours or 18 hours of sleep is absolutely normal. In older adults, more than 60 years of age, around 4 hours, 5 hours sleep is normal. So as the age progresses, the duration of sleep which the body requires gets decreased. And an individual, even in their adult life, may be a short sleeper, maybe a long sleeper, which is absolutely normal. It is not a disorder. If and only if he feels refreshed, he is able to do everything which he should do, and he is fulfilled with the freshness which he gains after a adequate duration of sleep. If he sleeps for 5 hours and he feels refreshed and he feels enough energy to continue his day, that's okay. Snoring is a measure while sleeping. No, snoring is not a measure. It happens due to our tongue falls back into the throat and snoring happens. I'm suffering through OCD and extreme negative thoughts. So this is a specific psychological disorder. We can discuss it later. Now coming to sleep hygiene. What is sleep hygiene? Sleep hygiene means what hygiene we should take so that we can have a better sleep. Like the hygiene we should take for our teeth, so that we can have a better teeth, better body in that sense. So coming to the study, which is a short study, 50% people use 2 or more sleeping pills or OTC medication, over-the-counter medication, which are freely available, are known as OTC medication, or herbal supplements. Now, many herbal supplements contain chemicals which helps us to sleep. People do avoid the chemicals which are produced in the factory. But saying per se, very few things are prepared in the factory, because factory are just combining and making use of the things which plants and herbs are giving us. Coming to the sleep hygiene, these are the basic routine sleep hygiene which we should follow so that we may have a better sleep. Now, seeing them, it seems to be a very simple thing. Stick to a routine, shut off a screen before bed. These are all very simple things. But look it at from different perspectives. Sleep is nothing which should be very complicated, which should be very cumbersome, which should be very hard to grasp. Sleep is something which is very natural. So understanding sleep should also be very natural, and any kind of disturbances which have occurred due to stress, due to disturbances in the body, due to disturbances in the outside world, these can be corrected. And it is not a rocket science key. It should be very tough and then it should work. The sleep hygiene works wonderfully when followed regularly. So the only thing which comes between person's sleep problems and his sleep hygiene is his willingness, is his trust on these sleep hygiene. If a person trusts that these measures, these hygiene measures are going to help him, and he follows them, invariably, if she are not having any kind of moderate to severe psychological disorders, then 100% he is going to sleep. If he is having even mild depression, even mild anxiety, mild stress, even then, just following these routines and these hygiene, the person might go to sleep properly on a routine basis. So the first thing is going to bed and waking up in the same time will reinforce your body's internal biological clock. Now, many patients do come to me with a common complaint. I do have sleep problem, and when I ask them what problem do you have, they reply, I get up very late in the morning. I get up at 8 a.m. in the morning, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And when I ask them, when do you go to sleep? They say, like, I go to sleep by 2 a.m., maybe 3 a.m. sometimes. So they go to sleep very late. And the reason they say, the patient says, I could not go to sleep. Even when I am lying on the bed, I am just lying. I am waiting for the sleep to come, but it does not happen. So my advice always is, you cannot control your sleeping time. It's an automatic process. You cannot control it, but you can control the time of your rising up, from getting up from your bed. So if your duration of sleep is more than 6 hours, 7 hours, then it is not a sleep problem. It is a routine problem. It means if you are going to sleep, if you are getting up at 9 a.m. and you want to if you want to get up at 6 a.m. so that you can have a good routine day, so you can decrease your getting up time by 15 minutes each day. You cannot do like if you are having a great willpower, you can do it that way also. It's also a very good way. But many of the patients which have come to me have said 15 minutes formula always helps. They say setting an alarm 15 minutes before their usual time helps them getting up without any worries. And when they are okay within 2 to 3 days, then they can again reset 15 days, again reset 15 days. So it works wonderfully. And when they get up 6 a.m. in the morning, they always go to sleep by 11 p.m. in the night, because the duration of sleep is always normal. They are having biological clock problem. Second is shutting off screen before bed. Now these mobile screens and laptop screens do have a blue light technology. Latest mobile phone and many mobile phones have night mode, which generally increases the warm tone in the screen, the reddish and orangish tone in the screen, and the blue tone is reduced or it is shut off. The blue light makes the brain feel that it is still a day and the night has not come. So the brain, the melatonin does not rises up in the brain, and the brain does not feels to go to sleep. So if you want to go to sleep early, just shut down your screen. Keeping things cool means ki, you can have a cooler room, then it helps to, and cleaner room, then it helps to make you go to sleep. Sweat it out, go to gym, say no to evening tea or coffee or any kind of cold drink or beverages, say no to them. Because these act as activating agents. The caffeine which is present acts as activating agent, and it takes more than 4 to 6 hours for it to go from adequate level to go out from the blood. Now read the labels on the medication. Now some medication, even if they are not sleep medications per se, they are not supposed to be used as sleep medication. Even then, they can cause some disruption in sleep. Like you all already have been knowing, there are many cough syrup which causes sleep problems. They causes increase of sleep, but even after getting up, the patient may feel he or she is having lethargy, is having the eyes are not opening kind of thing. So you should read what are the medications are you taking, and just make a Google search. Has it any potential to cause sleep disruption? Sleep disruption always does not mean it will disrupt your duration of sleep. It may disrupt the quality of sleep, the how fresh you are feeling the next day. It may disrupt it. That thing. Now coming to the same thing applies to the alcohol. Alcohol, as I have discussed, it might elevate the mood. It might make you feel you have got more energy for a few minutes or few hours, but ultimately it will act as CNS depressant. Coming to invest in right mattress. Right mattress is of course most important thing, and right pillow is most important thing, because 1/3 of the day, say 7 to 8 hours of the day, you are going to be lying on that. So good quality of mattress is very important. It should not be very soft. It should not be like what happens with with poor quality mattresses is the most heaviest part of the body, which may be hip or abdomen, it gets it gets down, and the place where the hip stays for the whole of the night, that part of the mattress gets depressed, gets down. Having pleasant images and sounds. Now having your dreams or your imageries or your fantasies after going to bed may help soothe your mind, and it may help you to go to sleep earlier. Now hide your clock. What is hide your clock? Hide your clock means you should not be keeping alarm watch clock, or preferably even alarm clock in your room. Alarm clock you might be keeping because sometimes you might need to getting up for some interviews or exams, or your any kind of meeting which is not at the usual time, because the body is designed in such a way that it is the circadian rhythm and the sleep wave cycle is such that if you go to bed at a routine time, and if you get at a routine time, you do not need any kind of alarm system, because the body has its own alarm system. Now, what's the problem these clocks create? The clock creates the problem of creating the anxiety, because like when a patient wants to go to sleep by 11 p.m., he has decided, I want to go to sleep at 11 p.m. He has gone to bed at 10:30. Now he opens his eyes and he sees the clock is showing 11, and he is not slept yet. Okay, so he again closes his eyes, again opens, it's 11:30, again 12:30, again 1:30. So this creates anxiety. Oh, 1 p.m. has passed. Oh, 1:30 p.m. has 1:30 a.m. has passed, and I still couldn't sleep. Now, this anxiety plays a very negative role in the sleep, starting phase of the sleep, and the patient will not be having good sleep with, until and unless he is adequately at rest. Take some deep breaths, deep breathing meditation and deep breathing exercises helps to relax the body. Keep a diary, read books. Reading magazines and books helps to go to a stage of sleepiness. Now coming to JPMR exercises, these are Jacobson progressive muscle relaxation exercises in which the muscles are relaxed from the toes. A group of muscles are relaxed from the toes to upwards, like a bunch of food. Like for example, we can say to the patient, he just relax and lie down on the bed and focus on your right foot and clench it. Clench your right foot, clench your right calf muscles for few seconds, for 2 to 3 seconds, and then relax them. Then repeat it one more time. Then come to proximal muscles like thigh muscles, relax it. Then come to hip muscles, then relax it. Similar fashion in both the lower limbs, in both the upper limbs, then the thorax, and the neck, and the coming to the throat and the mind. So when the body feels, when the mind feels that the whole body is relaxing, it's easier for the mind to relax and go to the stage of sleepiness. The massage also helps in having a relaxation for the body, and it ultimately helps to pass on into a stage of sleepiness. Mindfulness is just opposite, but it helps in a magical, in a wonderful way to go to sleep. In mindfulness, we bring our consciousness to every sensation, every sensory organ of the body. We focus on every sensory part. Like we focus our attention to our skin, what are the sensations they are feeling, to our ears, what are the sounds they are hearing. It may be sound of the tickle of the clock, or the dog is barking outside. We need not open our eyes because we have to dim the light and then go to sleep. But other sensation of the body, we can be very mindful and very conscious, and this helps the body to relax, and it helps to go to sleep. Now coming to the summary part. Sleep is something which is very natural. But the thing is, for more than 50% of the people, it has been said in many surveys. It's not my personal judgment or what we see in the OPDs, because what we see in the OPDs, it's around 100%. It means whatever we see in the OPDs, almost 90 to 100% patients do suffer from any kind of sleep rhythm abnormalities, duration abnormalities, or quality abnormalities. They suffer any kind of abnormalities related to sleep. But in the general population, in the general public, 50% or more than 50% people do suffer from any kind of sleep abnormalities. It may be due to some stress, any external stress like any kind of work situation, or it may be due to any kind of internal stress, which can be bodily, like a patient may be having any chronic pain, in any chronic like a fever or something, and he may be having disruption in pattern and quality of sleep, or he or she may be having disturbances in his psyche per se, any kind of psychological disorder, which can range from stress, anxiety, depression, OCD, personality, or any kind of psychosis, which is a broad category in itself. What we see in the OPDs, almost everyone is disturbed in the way the sleep should happen. So this is the brief introduction about sleep. Now, I have made this flyer just around 15 days back about I am going to present one seminar or one webinar on sleep. And what I was expecting, I would be seeing someone, this flyers I have shown on my personal Facebook, WhatsApp, Insta, and LinkedIn, those kind of thing. And I was expecting all my closed, the persons whom I know or who are whom I closely am aware of their things. Only those persons would join. But what I have found in the registration part, many people whom I do not know personally have joined, and it's very motivating for me. And thank you everyone for joining, and it has motivated. And I would be very happy to bring such contents in future, and it might be helping you all. Now, coming to the last part, these are all theory. These are all worthless. Worthless. Why I'm using the word worthless? Because theory per se is never gonna help anyone until and unless you or anyone you know. It may be your family member. It may be someone you know in your office, or anyone who is suffering from sleep disorder. Until and unless he or she goes through a process, till then it's not gonna help. So what I mean to say, what I have presented was just to bring to your awareness that such and such thing happens to more than 50%. I am a hardcore believer of statistics, and I believe if statistics say 50%, then it needs to be 50%. Like, just for the sake of discussion, around 17 to 24% of general population do suffer at any stage of time. The lifetime prevalence is 17 to 24%. Any person would be having depression. Means an average, if you take 100%, like, for if you can talk in one-to-way fashion, you might be knowing any around 100% in your life. Around out of those 100%, 17 to 24% have or are suffering depression. But if those 17 people, or you might be knowing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, yeah, I have heard of depression or some kind of psychiatric problem or mental illness, some kind of thing. But 95% people are normal. But the statistics says otherwise. Statistics, 50% people will be having any or other kind of psychiatric. Might not be a problem of disorder level, might not be a problem of such a severe intensity to require medication, to require, might not be at that level. But any kind of psychological problem, why I am saying is, if those psychological problems are removed from their life, apart from the better quality of sleep, they would be having a better quality of life. So what now I'm going to present to you is a working formula to have a better sleep, to have better sleep for you. If you sometimes do feel like things are not normal, if you feel things, so it is going to be a working formula. So this is a 30 challenge. What is a 30 challenge? I have been trying it several years. I have been, and I have been trying on many patients, on sometimes not patients, sometimes like people who come with any kind of to know what's wrong with them, give them advices, not medications. For changing a habit, what science says, 21 days. I personally do not believe it, because I think that 21 day I think that is not adequate for any major change in body or in uh, uh, habits. 30-day is sufficient, because sufficient. So what is the 30-day sleep challenge? I would be mentoring you. I would be at the first place. I would be assessing if anyone you know, if he or she problem, it might not require, as I've already, it might not require medications per se. It might require something lesser than medication, but something is required. So the first part is the assessment, which will consist of one-on-one call, personalized one-on-one call, lasting for 15 to 30 minutes as per the requirements, and the assessment would be done. And according to that, a personalized sleep plan or any kind of other as required psychological help will be provided for a duration of 30 days on a regular basis. And it will help drastically change your quality of sleep as well as quality of life. Now, what I'm talking, changing everything from your life based on your 30-day challenge. What I am talking is, if you follow the process, if you follow the steps of this 30-day challenge, you would definitely be having better quality of sleep and better quality of life, both. So now, as you know, if I'm investing some time in this challenge, I am taking out time from my personal life, and I'm investing. If you are interested, I'm investing in, and there is a price to it. Of course, there is a price to it, and the course price is 2,999. It might seem a lot of numbers, like 2,999, around 3,000 is too much to ask for a 30-day challenge. But what I am offering in return is my personalized time. I consult on OPD basis, not I charge more on IPD basis. But when I consult on OPD basis, I give a consultation of around 15 minutes to new patient, 15 to 30 minutes ranging, because there are psychological assessment which are done by psychologists per se, and the other parts are taken care of myself. So 15 to 30 minutes of time is allotted, and I charge from 700 to 1,200 for those 15 minutes. It's a one session. Even if it comes after 5 days, and after the second session, I have to again charge. That's a professional fees. That's something which I charge, and that's something my fees is. So, taking in that perspective, I am giving
admission fees
for next 30 days, and this is the price which I am charging.
Admission fees
Something I know we do not want to go to something which is not discounted. So this is a discounted, and this is for the seminar, because I have been enrolling this 30-day challenge on other platforms, social media platforms, and for this webinar, for the duration of this seminar and this webinar, the price has been reduced to 299. Now this is the 10% from what I charge, and the time I deserve to charge for. Why only 299? Why so less? Because of two reasons. Because my primary aim is not monetization per se. For 299, I see a single patient. When I see a single patient, I charge more than double of this amount. And why I'm charging this 299? Because I want to bring awareness in you. I want to make you an action taker, because you have invested like more than 1 hour with me, right? And these words do not mean anything. These lectures, these seminars, these slides do not mean anything. Do not follow it. Do not bring a change in yourself, because you might be having seen so much of YouTube videos, so much of articles for your own anxiety, for your own depression, for your own sleep problems, and anything. If you have not taken any action up till now, and what I am asking is you to take action, because if you are not ready to take action right now, it might be that you might not be able to future in near future. This is a one-time offer because if you will try to contact me, might be I will be having the older price of around 3,000. I am giving you in this 299. First is a free ebook. As you have received the message, I have launched a free ebook. Sleep like you have never. Available on Amazon by the same heading. You can right now you can search it on the Amazon app and sleep like you have never slept before. It's worth 2,000. Sorry, it's worth 299. It's in ebook format. I will be giving you that ebook. Second, free one-on-one private consultation over phone or video conference as per your requirement in person. Assessment will be made. Thorough assessment means not only the sleep part. Basically, sleep is just a symptom. Sleep is symptom in 50% of the cases. In 50% of the cases, sleep is just a symptom. The basic diagnosis lies somewhere else.
Yeah, okay.
Part
Yeah,
where the problem arises, where the root cause is. So it will be a free one-on-one consultation and 30 days of mentorship and guidance. It will be, I will be giving you many tips. Apart from these tips which I have given you, many tips I will be sharing, and I will be guiding you on a day-to-day basis, 5 days in a week basis. What are the practical problems you are having? Like I usually what the practical problems my patients are having. They are not coming like these and these problems which I have read in my MBBS or my MD classes. They come with their own practical problems, which can only be solved on a one-on-one basis. It cannot be solved by reading textbook. It cannot be solved by watching YouTube videos. It cannot be solved anything like any article or anything. One-on-one session and one-on-one call. So this is consisting of that. And the price will be till the end of this webinar. And if you are interested, you can just scan QR code, or if you can make the UPI payment. This is the UPI address. If you are interested, because for me, it's not worth for me to receive 299 rupees from you and give you 30 days of my time and free assessment part and all this and that. It's worth for you. If you think that it's worthy, then it's the time to take some action. Because if you're not going to take action right now, maybe you will not be taking any action anytime, not in near future, not ever, forever. You are going to be just reader and watcher and seer, and you will be seeing things and reading and helping, asking for help, and you will not be taking any action. So this is the last page of my webinar, and if you want, the price is not a matter. If you want, you should get out of something, some kind of psychological problems, sleep problems, quality of life problems, or any kind of thing which is not physical per se. If you want to get out of it, or if you want to have a guidance in that case, so this is the least you can do, is to scan the code, or you can make the UPI payment. Now, hope those who are interested have already taken the screenshot or taken the photo. Going to the next slide. This is the last. If you want to contact me, this is my mobile number, which you might already have received the WhatsApp messages from, and this is the email address which for you to contact me if you require any kind of assistance. Now coming to some questions which I have postponed from the chat. Okay, I will be very brief and I will be very quick. Trauma also a factor of depression. The factor of depression, as I have told, it can be exogenous, it can be endogenous. So trauma, either physical trauma or mental trauma, can be a cause of depression. But the depression is different from a sadness, because when we fail in life, we get sad. So we won't call it we are depressed. So depression per se is different from sadness. How can we differentiate? It's a technical thing, but you can personally know it, because there are many setbacks in life. You might have been failed, or you might have got less marks in your exam, and the feeling you had was sadness. It was not depression. And if you have depression, then you will be having those consistent feelings. So the feeling of sadness will not be changing in the course of the day. It will not be changing like your friend has asked you on the next day, let's go to movie, and you will be very happy. Okay, let's go to movie. If that happens, it's normal sadness. It's not depression. Question is, I got very negative thoughts regarding my goal. What is characterized as poor sleep? Okay, I'm suffering from. Okay. What do you suggest for person who have difficulty in initiation of sleep? Initiation of sleep has many causes. So first part is the assessment part. We should see what has gone wrong with the natural pattern which God has given us of sleep. What has gone wrong in that? It might be due to anxiety, it might be due to stress, it might be due to overthinking, it might be due to normal bodily fatigue, or it might be due to some kind of what we give in such situation. What we ask in such a situation is, it might be due to the person has traveled, it might be due to the person has had bad food, it might be due to the AC is off, it might be due to external circumstances, but those are short-lived. Can you please make share slide for sleeping exercise? Yeah, of course, I'll be sharing the ebook and all the exercises will be there. Apart from that, I will be sharing the sleeping exercises, physical as well as the mindfulness and the breathing exercises, all of them. Thank you, sir. Gradual relaxation acts like wonder, of course. Thank you, Ramya ji. Thank you. Amitava sir has written, my dear brain, please have a good night's sleep and please wake up at this time, fully relaxed, refreshed, and rejuvenated. Thank you, my dear brain. It is automation. It is auto-suggestion. Brain is something which you can fool. It is a trick which we use in psychiatry. It is a trick. Brain has everything which you tell the brain. If you tell, I am a great person, the brain believes. If you tell, I'm fatigued, I'm very lethargic, I'm feeling sad, the brain believes. If you say, I'm very energetic, the brain believes. So there's a pattern, and if you follow the pattern and the process, of course, the brain can be tricked. Current time, mostly people suffer to sleep disorder or problem. I think very helpful in the topic. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, this is a good question. Is it necessary to sleep in afternoon? So I have given the spoon test. The necessity rises from the kind of work you are doing, because there are many farmers who get up early in the morning, say 4 a.m., 4:30, 5 a.m. They go and plow the fields because the sun has not risen and the heat is not scorching, so they are able to do their work in the morning. In the afternoon, when in India the sun is at its peaks and it's not that they are not able to work, they are not able to do anything, they can be having sleep. It's very normal. It's not a problem. But sleep, it is not necessary to go to sleep in the afternoon. Okay, thank you so much. And I hope you have gained a lot of insights from this webinar, and you have gained something to ponder on and something to think on what are psychological disorders, because I will be invariably discussing about a lot of psychological coming sessions, and the next session is going to be on suicide. Why suicide? Because suicide, what I'm a core believer, and what stats says, as well as what my personal experience with patients says, each and every individual on earth has ever and ever or sometime in their life has thought of ending their life. I have many people who come to me and who on first asking, they say no, I have never thought of suicide and all these. But I'm a psychiatrist. I know a person from inside out. And apart from me, the statistics, and they do not lie. The international statistics do not lie. And it says that each and every person has ever has thought about suicide. So just escaping that thought or escaping that thing and hoping that the demon will not come back again ever is like an ostrich keeping its head below the sands and getting away from the enemy. The enemy is going to come. So you should not run away from suicidal thoughts if it had ever come to you, and I know it has. You should know why. You should know what is wrong and what is the problem and how it can be solved. Because what you see in the newspaper is somewhere at remote places, someone has killed himself or someone has hanged himself or someone has jumped from the roof. They are all normal individuals. They are not someone who has landed up from space. They are normal individuals who have just decided, no, it's enough and I decide to quit. And that's the end. So you should know where it's coming from. So my next session would be on that, suicide. And I hope I would be bringing a lot of value and a lot of information in the session. Thank you so much for patience.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm ending the session, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.